What's up, everybody? Thanks again for stopping by for another edition of March 4th with Mike Bauman. I, of course, am your host, Mike Bauman. Whoever you are, wherever you are listening from, thank you so much for checking out the podcast. If you're a returning listener, I greatly appreciate your continued love and support. And if you're a brand new listener of the show, man, thank you so much for hopping aboard that pirate ship. You can follow me on Instagram at March 4th Pod. I am also on YouTube and TikTok at March 4th Pod. The link tree with all of my stuff is in the podcast description for this episode. So that means if you made it here, then you found me somehow. And I truly appreciate each and every one of you taking the time to check out another edition of the March 4th with Mike Bauman podcast. How is everybody doing, man? I hope that life is finding you well as you listen to this. We've got Thanksgiving right around the corner. I always love that day because my beloved Detroit Lions always play on Thanksgiving Day, and they've got a great team this year. And I believe they've got a rematch with the Green Bay Packers, who kicked their butts in week 1. So, they got hit on the chin a little bit, and since then they've had a pretty good year. I want to say, as of recording this episode, they are 7-3 now, 6-3, 7-3 with the bye week. So it's going to be a big one when they play Green Bay in Detroit. Looking forward to getting back home, seeing family and friends back in the Midwest where I hail from. It's always good to spend time with your loved ones. So for anybody listening to this, whether you celebrate Thanksgiving or you don't, I hope that you get an opportunity before the year is over to spend time with your loved ones. It's important. Tomorrow isn't promised to any of us, and I don't mean that in a dark way. It's just a reality, man. So many of us, myself included, spend time either in the past or in the future, and the present really is where it's at. Make the most of today. Don't quit on your dreams. Don't quit on yourself, and just know that you are loved, you are worthy, and you are worth it. Even if you got to wake up every morning and say that in the mirror, I am loved, I am worthy, I am worth it. I am deserving of good things. I'm a good person. Whatever you got to do, man. As somebody who's spent a lot of time in between my own ears, it just remember to be where your feet are, and that there are a lot of people who love you and who care about you, and there are a lot of great people in this world to connect with. And through darkness, you'll eventually get to the light. Things do get better, and there's always going to be a balance of light and dark in the universe. But if you can learn how to transmute the darkness you go through into something positive, that really makes all the difference, man. And speaking of connecting with good people out here, these guys are guys that I have a ton of respect for. I love their band. I love them as people, as human beings. They are none other than NUMBFLOWER. This is a band out of Long Island, New York. If you love emo, if you love grunge, if you love alternative in 2000s, you will love these guys. They take all of that for their own unique flavor, put it in a blender, and have their own unique sound. We've got DJ and Dan from NUMBFLOWER this week. I first had these guys come on my radar back in 2024. That was when their debut single Lead came out with their buds in Prairie Fire. I want to say that was like August of 2024. And since that time, they have put out an additional 5 new songs: Quicksand, Dreams with Star Funeral, Lighthouse, Telephone, and the latest one is the song Remedy. And in addition to that, early in November, they put out the visual for it on YouTube, which is like this cool old-timey cartoon video. And we get into that. We talk about that with DJ and Dan. And I love talking with these guys because I heard Michael Rosenbaum, I believe, was the one who said it. Check out his podcast, Inside of You. But he said, sometimes when you talk with people, it's like meeting new friends, or new old friends, rather. Where it's like, hey, we're new, but it feels like we've known each other for a long time. And from the first conversation I had with DJ and Dan last year about NUMBFLOWER, that's really how these guys are to me. They're like new old friends. It's just like chatting with your buds about music, about life, about mental health. And we talk about all of it in this conversation. We talk about the diversity of their singles that they've put out. We talk about the meaning behind Remedy, including the visual, as I just mentioned, that just came out in early November. And these guys over the last year have really grown their audience. They've played a lot of live shows with a bunch of great bands on the East Coast, and including in the Long Island music scene in New York. which has a lot of history. New York in general has a lot of music history, but even Long Island. And yeah, just good dudes, man. Good dudes who are doing what they love to do. They're persevering through, their own journeys and their own lives. And the music is what brings them together. And it's what brought us together. So without further ado, I'm going to shut my big yapper and give you guys my conversation with DJ and Dan of NUMBFLOWER. Here it is. Well, DJ Dan, thanks again so much, you guys, for taking the time to do the pod. Time flies, and it was a great time having you guys on the last time.
Up,
Uh,
what's up?
What up? What up?
What's going on, man? How you been?
How
yeah,
the hell are you?
yeah,
Yeah,
life is good, all things considered, right? And it's always good when you can chat with with people that you connect with through music, kind of like we were just talking about before we officially hit record. Like,
yeah,
that's been one of the coolest things about doing this podcast is just getting to connect with people that I may have not otherwise, just because of geography, being in different parts of the country. Like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
probably found you guys in your music, but wouldn't have maybe gotten to talk to you without doing this. So I really appreciate you guys making the time to come back on, man.
Dude, are you kidding me? Thank you for having us back. Oh, it's really great. Like as soon as I sent the message over to Dan, I was like, we're gonna do this podcast, right? We're gonna do this my podcast. He was like, yeah, why is that even a question? I was like, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Uh, we didn't even wait for Nick or Tom. We were like, well, we'll be there.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's like wonderful being back, getting to talk about the jams and talk about how music really like reaches to all of us, recharges our soul, you know?
Absolutely. Like you guys came right out the gate with Lead, and that was the first one that got me into y'all, and was your introduction to people with Numflower from your previous band. And since that time, with the release of Remedy, which I believe just came out at the end of September, I
Yeah,
think there's six total now, right? With
yeah.
Quicksand Dreams, Lighthouse, and Telephone. Like, how cool has it been for you guys over this past year, having had these songs ready, like we talked about the last time, just to roll these out to people and to play all the shows that you're playing? Like, how cool has it been to finally roll it out?
Man. I feel like, and especially these first six songs, right? Dan and I, this was like these six songs were our COVID babies. Like we wrote this
Yeah,
together.
pretty much.
Um, we've been itching to get these out. All right. We were so excited that we could play all of them in a set. And actually, we're even more excited to play even newer stuff that's not even out that we're recording right now. So I feel like every artist can understand that, right? Like you write music and from, you know, the blueprints to the end of the creation, it's about, a certain amount of time and duration passes by and you're still evolving. You're like, all right, let's put that out, let's put that out. And there's always something you're catching up to. It's just that never-ending game of creativity. And, we have our dry spells. And if I'm not writing, Dan's writing, which is nice, and vice versa. So
Yeah.
it's been good.
Yeah. No, I mean that pretty much summed it up pretty well. I mean, these songs have been I was trying to think of like when we actually first started writing these songs. I mean, it goes back so long. I mean, these are st we wrote these originally as Hold Fast Hope. Like this is gonna be a new Hold Fast Hope release, and then a lot of different things happened along the way. I mean, these songs completely changed from where they were when we started to kind of where they ended. But I mean, it was just a really great, like, and just a fun, like, project to have, like, especially like all the obstacles along the way kind of made for the ride of being a little bit more fun. And I
Uh,
like I'm happier with the way things are, where they are, where the songs are in the end than the way they began.
Just
Like
say
I
it, ladies. Just say it. Like, just say it. We were stuck in COVID. There was nothing really creatively to do, right?
like yeah, couldn't play shows, couldn't go out and
Nothing.
do stuff.
We
So
had to
what
give
like
up our space because we were like, we're not going to go and practice in a public rehearsal space, right? So that didn't make sense to pay for every month. So we were like, you know what? Let's just record demos together in our space, and luckily Dan is um, pretty much a whiz. He's so much of a whiz that he's taught me how to use.
let's not say win.
No,
Let's not say win.
seriously. No, seriously.
Um,
I feel like these six songs were like by the time we got to Nick, our producer Nick Starantino, shout out to him, Dead End
Dead
Studios.
End Studio.
We love him so much. That is our dude. Yeah, before we even send it to Nick, I felt like these six songs we had such a thick demo. Like it was like filled out, backup vocals, like where we wanted it. And then as per usual, when we bring it to Nick, he just takes our stuff and shows us how to amplify it. And here we are. So, and we're doing it again.
All the songs have like a different feel too. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
Lead is just kind of like a rocker. Like it's like um it's got good energy, and then uh
gritty. Yeah,
y- yeah, and then like Quicksand's like introspective but still kind of like in your face a little bit, and then
yeah.
Dreams with Star Funeral is almost like, I don't want to say like a ballad, but yeah, it's got like an ambiance to it. And I think the last time we were on DJ, I think you said that was like one of your favorite songs you've
Oh,
ever.
yeah. Still
Yeah,
this day. Shout out to Star Funeral too. And
yeah,
for Nikki for singing on it, man. Like it was that song's like for me and Dan, I think it
yeah,
was one of those songs we looked at each other and we were like, that's probably one of the prettiest songs we've ever written. Like I just intertangled guitars. I think we were I mean, we've always been into pianos become the teeth. So like introduced guitars. Like we were like, we need to write some. Now that we have all this creative freedom, let's write the things that we want to write, right? So I feel like Dreams was the perfect example, the perfect outcome of just being
yeah.
the boundaries of what Numflower could be and where it is.
I remember like when you first sent me the I need to find that original demo that you sent me somewhere, but I remember that like you just sent me acoustic and sang like phone voice memo.
Hmm.
And I was trying to like I don't know, you love the reverb. So I'm trying to understand kind of what's going on and listening to
Hmm.
it. And I kind of just did what I thought was it for like the verse. And I actually, and then basically at the end you're just like, yeah, chorus spot on, but I don't know what that verse is, but I absolutely love it.
Yeah. It was one of those songs that just came together so easily. There was a direction, we knew where it was going, we let that river take us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it was like a song too. I think that like just kind of like I don't know, like that and Lead for us were like our first, I think those are basically our first experience writing songs that are like under 3 minutes,
Hmm.
technically.
Yeah.
Barely, but like for and it was like I don't know, trying to find like like figure out how to make a song feel just as well-rounded and complete as we wanted it to.
But at the same time, like compact.
Yeah. And just getting more to the point,
I
I think.
forgot all about that, actually. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
and I think it's carried into a lot of what we're writing today. We still keep that formula in mind, but it's by no means are we like stuck in that formula. Like we'll break it. If we'll break it. We'll do like 7 minutes song.
No,
No,
we
no, we
won't. No, we won't.
won't.
Probably not.
Dude,
Maybe.
do like an epic post rock kind of vibe.
Oh,
Oh my God, yeah. What was that? I
oh,
mean, Periphery has like what, 18-minute songs or something? Could
mhm.
do something like that. I'm sure Dream Theater has more.
Oh, Dream Theater.
Dude, yeah,
Shout
So,
out Long Island.
so good.
shout out Long Island. Yeah, the East Coast, man. There's something in the water over there with y'all, man. There's a lot of good bands. Even the bands that's a lot of the bands that you guys have been playing with, like one of them and there's a bunch of them but that I've been trying to get on and just with like scheduling and stuff, but like Peak Cinema, uh
Oh,
yeah, those guys are
Yeah.
I checked out their stuff.
Soccer boys, dude, they're like brother bands at this point. Like
yeah.
it's like you playing a show? Cool, we're playing a show.
Cool, with pleasure. Yeah,
Yeah, man. That's great. I'm glad
always.
get them on here.
Yeah, Peak Cinema, if you listen to this, we got to circle back because I hit them up a couple months ago because I had seen that you guys had a show coming up and just like scheduling wise with like what I had going on and being because I wanted to try to put it out before that show.
Yeah.
Uh, but we'll get them on. We'll get them on, man.
Yeah.
You're sick, but and then the other three that you guys have put out, Lighthouse, Telephone, and then the latest one, Remedy, which we'll get into that being the latest one, but same thing, like Lighthouse, I felt like really told a story lyrically. And then Telephone, and I don't even know if you guys are gonna get this reference, but I'm gonna say it anyway because I'm a total nerd, especially for but the ending of that song is like so ominous. And I was like trying to figure out how you guys did that and the sound and like the studio, but it reminded me of like kind of the vibe of like if you guys ever watched it when you were kids, the end of Are You Afraid of Dark, the theme song of that, like the way it trails out and it's like,
Dude.
like
Oh,
the
are you
end of
afraid of the
Telephone is
dark?
almost like it's almost like a and
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know if you're making the connection at all or if you even know what I'm talking about, but the end of Telephone where the way that that song trails out, it's like it's like chilling in a good way. And I hope you guys understand what I mean when I'm saying that. But it gave me kind of that Are You Afraid of the Dark vibe where it's like, oh, I'm like somewhere right now with this
Dude,
song.
yeah. We wanted like and I think Nick helped us a lot. Starantino helped us a lot with like capturing the feeling of Telephone, right? Because that was one of the songs that Dan and I were like dead on sure of making um as transparent lyrically as possible. Like this is a song about losing close friends, young friends at a young age. All right. This is a friend. This is a like a song about like never being able to talk to this person and wishing that they are doing well and that they can hear you or even see you right now, you know? So like we want at the very end like the build up and we wanted that chill. We wanted to grab the audience and let them know like kind of in testament like, you know, is it
Yeah.
is it pretty where you are? Is like one of those two lines in that part. Like, and could you send a sign, you know? Um,
Yeah.
so
No,
yeah, it's
it's
getting
like,
chills talking about it. Um,
no, I know, like, I mean I remember when we were doing or when we were first writing it and like starting the lyrical direction, like that was one that we kind of like both worked on. Like, I mean, I remember like I don't know, and working out the lyrics and like being like very like telephone centric. I mean, like I don't know, like I've been in two car accidents in my life, and during both of them, like ironically, and not the cause of the accident, I should mind you, but like I was on the phone with somebody. One time my mom, one time my wife, and it's like, it's like it's kind of scary, I guess. Like thinking about it, and like I want to infuse the vantage point of like the other side of that situation and like hearing what's happening. Like
yeah,
in both of these, I was just like, basically just like T-boned from somebody who like, blew a light. Um, and it's just like it's it's scary, and it's but like, and I don't I have the experience of being on the receiving end of the car, but just being, imagining what it's like the other side of,
Yeah.
the phone, or being on the phone call while that's happening, like it's gotta be terrifying. Um, I
Yeah.
mean, my first words were, usually like, "Oh, fuck."
Yeah.
But no,
It's-
yeah. That was like just like I think a little bit of the backstory into like telephone too, and where we went with that. I think actually that one too, we record the group vocals actually. Nikki from Star Funeral
yeah.
is yeah, and Brian Prairie Fire, I think, are both
Right.
are in those group vocals. So shout out to them on that track technically as well, even though they're not credited.
Yeah, shout out to Brad. Um, and then wait, we had Lighthouse and Telephone. Lighthouse is pretty straightforward.
Yes.
That's a song for having a parent that didn't learn how to put others before himself. Um, like that's what that song is about. It's about not putting your sons ahead of you or on your shoulders, but instead competing or um what's a word for that? Narcissistic personality type. Like if it doesn't benefit the them directly, it's of no use to them. So um Lighthouse really drove that home. And it drove especially towards the end, it drove home like a sense of hope because it's like you're pleading to learn from your father's sins, and vowing to never repeat them, you know? Um, so like that was a beauty. Like I love that song. I like the imagery for Lighthouse too. It was really pretty. Um, and then Remedy. Dan, anything on Remedy? Look at
Uh,
him on the spot. Look at him. He's sweating.
uh, what's funny is like, I don't know, the intro, I just always kept thinking like, I don't know if you ever listened to Straight Light Run,
Yeah.
um, John Nolan. That was I don't know, always remind me of like that kind of like vibe and like some of that ambience and like ominous ness about it. And then I mean like it takes so many like kind of twists and turns around like in that song that was like definitely I think one of our more like through composed songs,
Yeah.
and like a little bit different than the rest of the songs,
Yeah.
where it didn't just, I mean, it did have, two choruses, I guess, but like it wasn't just like, verse, chorus, like done. Like it kind of moved around, took you on a few like different
Dips,
things.
dips, turns, curls.
Yeah, I tried doing my first drum solo on that one, so that was cool. Um, during that little like bridge part. I'm gonna call that a solo, DJ. No, I mean, this was actually, I mean, this whole EP like was my first time, I think, actually recording like
Oh yeah.
real
Yeah.
drums, I think. I mean, I recorded drums on an EP and for a band in high school. I was just like it didn't even make it to like this was pre Spotify. Um so like I still have some demo tapes somewhere, I think, like on CDs, like in the like slipcases and stuff that I just made.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, yeah, like besides that, like I haven't actually like recorded drums on anything. So this was like kind of like fun for that.
Hell yeah. And I mean, you absolutely killed it. I was surprised, Mike. I didn't know the dude could drum. All right. Like we were hanging out in our space, we had like the isolation booth, put the drums in there. I was like, cool. I'll track some of the bass, guitars, vocals, blah blah. He's like, cool. I'll play the drums. I'm like, huh? He started playing the drums, and that was it. I was like, oh my gosh, we're yeah, surprise, surprise.
We could do this shit.
Yeah, yeah, we could do this. That's exactly how it felt like when we did that.
Yeah. No, I mean like I mean I think a big part of it was that I mean again, as this like kind of all started from Hold Fast Hope. I mean at first, kind of started with um our homie Dan who was on drums, had to he left the band on good terms. I mean he's still a homie, just
Yeah,
life gets in the way kind of thing.
yeah.
Um, and we were just this was also just kind of like coming in around like COVID and stuff, we're just like, what do we do? It's like we're trying to find a drummer, like, we eventually got a fill-in drummer who's, now our full-time drummer, Nick, but it's
Never left.
yeah,
He never left.
yeah, yeah.
We love him.
Um, but like, well, we're just trying to figure all this out. It's just like, how do we do this? And it's like, okay, I guess we're just gonna go for it.
Hmm.
Um, and we, I don't know, really just really proud of, what the two of us were kind of just able to do with this together. And now like the new we've got 5 songs now that we're recording. Um, and even 5 we're actually in the middle of recording in like a studio, and then we've got like I think another 5 or at least maybe 3 or 4 like in demo form and my studio basement here. So
In other words,
no
we
shortage.
need to stop and slow down and come back and
Yeah. If there's any bands listening to this that want songs, we can ghost write for you. Like
yeah,
we've had no
yeah,
shortage of it, which has been good. Which has been good.
yeah.
Uh,
So Remedy, Mike.
sorry, did I go
Went
on a
on a
tangent?
tangent. We kind of, I mean, important tangent, but
Yeah,
No,
there's like
I loved it, man. That's why I love doing podcasts because we can get into the weeds. That's why I love doing this. So no, no, all good.
yeah, man. So Um, oh, we did release, I don't know if anybody's seen it, but we did release an animated cut that we had created for Remedy,
don't
which
say don't say we. You can take all the credit.
no. We did this.
I
And
uploaded it
yeah,
to YouTube.
I love Remedy. So Remedy is a song. I think it's the original like Blueprint for Remedy was a song for my, not for my, but in memory of my ex. Um, and it basically, I wanted, I wanted to get the point across that, um, like in a lot of cases when we split from, in a relationship, like there is, you know, many different ways that can happen. And one of those ways, usually one person is caught off guard. So I wanted to like give that kind of perspective of a sense of loss and betrayal from someone who was like your best friend, like your closest person, right? Um, and then I think as we like travel through the intro and travel through the verses, you start to question when you get to the chorus, you start to question like, was it that easy just to throw away? Like pretty self-explanatory. You needed some time, X, Y, and Z. But my favorite part of the song
Wonder what that is.
is like is I guess we would call it the pre-chorus or post-chorus. Dan always yells at me for this, all right? I give too many names to parts, and he's like, "What are you talking about? What is this, Dan? What part is this?"
No, I mean it's not to even tangent, but I don't even wait. I don't even know the part you're talking about. I
Why
mean,
can't I catch a
technically, I think of it as the second verse. I'm just kidding.
Ew.
I mean, like it's every. Here's the thing. My theory is, frankly, everything is a bridge to somewhere. So if you don't know what it is, it might as well just be the bridge.
Okay. I could live with that. So play the bridge twice. In that bridge, it's like exclamation of why can't I catch a break? So like I know everyone out there is who's ever been in a breakup. When you get to the point where like really like this didn't work again, like why can't I catch a break? Like why can't I just find someone to like fill that space? You know, at the end of the day, yes, I found it, but I'm just saying, like, I know that's a feeling that it hurt so much at that time that I could still feel it. And when I hear Remedy, I still feel it. And it's a good thing, like kind of reminder of like where the trajectory is, and not take things for granted. But Remedy is like definitely a song that is darker for us in this lineup, especially. Um, and it kind of segues into the new stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really felt that one, man, and just kind of like we were talking like before we hit record about all the stuff that just you go through in life.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people can relate to it, to that one lyrically, whether it's a friend, whether it's a lover, when you kind of get cast aside by somebody who you really trust,
yeah,
uh, especially if you're blindsided by it and you're caught off guard, like you said, man, like I think anybody who listens to that song can feel the weight of that because you never forget that feeling, like
yeah,
there's a quote out there, I think it's, you know, people will forget what you did or what you said,
Yeah.
always remember how you made them feel, you
Yeah.
know, like over time.
yeah,
I think
You,
that's Louis. I think that's Louis C.K.
is it Louis?
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like or somewhat like that. Yeah.
yeah.
It's a recent quote.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
Say what you will about him. It's a good quote.
Yeah, it's true because it's like over
Very
time,
true.
like if you think back to like when you were a kid, right? Everybody's got teachers that like you're like, yes, that person, Mr. Harrison or whoever it
The
might be.
McDonough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you
Shout out
remember,
Mr. Dunn.
and there's probably right, and there's probably like you know, maybe specific quotes, 20, 30 years later, you may not remember, but you remember like, hey, that person saw me. They like saw
Yeah,
me as a human being. They met me at my level. They helped, they saw something in me. You know what I mean? Um, and so, yeah, it's like for a song like Remedy, it's kind of like that feeling, but unfortunately, like the dark side of that feeling, where it's like, hey, I thought we had this connection, and maybe we did for a time,
yeah,
but now I'm getting cast aside, and I don't really understand it. So yeah, when you get into that part where it's like, why can't I catch a break? It's
yeah,
had the lyrics pulled up. It's slipping through my grip. I'm
yeah.
losing my mind. Like it's like I think people can relate to that sort of that spiral you go through of
That
like,
panic, yeah, that
this
anxiety, that everything, all those emotions all at once. And yeah, I didn't mean to cut you up, Mike, but like, yeah, like, um, yeah, and then it reprises back with like, a nice good F word there for you. Because you need to drive that home, man. Like, why can't you just catch that break, Like, even if you apply that to just everything, I know there's a lot of people just struggling right now. Like, why can't we just catch a break, you know?
Yeah, and that's one thing I was gonna say too, is this song, like even if somebody hasn't gone through, um, and kudos if you haven't, God bless you if you haven't
Oh,
gone
yeah.
through a horrible breakup, God,
Whew.
keep that streak going if you can.
Yeah.
But
And
but
if
yeah,
you do, learn from it. Don't
yeah,
just walk past it. Learn from it.
yeah.
Hmm.
Take
Amen.
take time to heal and
Yep.
don't forget to love yourself through it too, man. Like
Biggest,
I'm
yeah.
effective, and it's like, you know, like when you go through things like that, I mean, granted, in relationships, there's there when it's two people, there's give and take. And so it's like, the way I look at it is like if the relationship's working, it's because both of you are doing things that make it work. And then if it doesn't work out, there's things that happen that both of you,
Yeah.
got to look in the mirror at and go, okay, if this didn't work, like I'm part of it not working too. Um, but
Right. Right.
but at the end of the day, you still gotta love yourself. And if you do get burned by somebody, um, just remember that like that's not the only person out there. And not all the time is somebody's behavior or treatment of you a reflection of like your lovability, if you will. I don't even know if that's like a word, but you
No.
know, um,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, point, you got the point across. I
Yeah.
mean, and God, yeah, that's a great point. I think especially today's society, we equate our worth by how people like treat us. Um, which is not always the case. I mean, one person could walk past you and think you're the greatest thing to ever exist. And another person could walk past you, make you feel like that temporarily, and then, toss you aside because that was never work. You were never really, I feel like you have to make sure like loving yourself comes first in a relationship and out of a relationship. Um, And then from there, you can learn to really truly take in another person's flaws and see them and see your flaws. Because that, like, when you're in a relationship, like, they're reflecting some of your flaws. Like, you bounce off of each other, like triggers from your childhood and your attachments. I don't know if you guys are into attachments, but like, that's really big. Like, how you attach yourself with love to a person is very, very important. It usually dictates where it's gonna go. So yeah, love yourself first, then you could then definitely love another.
Yeah, and to anybody who is going through it, just know it gets better, man. Like, I mean, when it happens, it's like it's awful. When you really love somebody and you give of yourself to that person, it sucks, man, especially if you're not the one that wanted the relationship to end. But shout out to Nothing More. They have a song called Here's to the Heartache, and in there,
Mm,
one of the lines is with time comes grace. And
mhm,
that's one of the
mhm.
coolest ways I've ever heard anybody put it, because I've never been a big fan of like time heals all wounds, because it's like if you don't work on yourself or you don't extract the lessons from the good and the bad that you go through in life, the passing of time isn't gonna it's I mean, the further you get from pain, I feel like, at least in my experience, like, yeah, like the further something is in the past and it's out of sight, um, it's not as painful as obviously like the initial blow, whatever it is. But if you don't learn from like that painful relationship in this context, like a breakup, if you don't kind of one appreciate the good but also take the lessons from the bad, like you were talking about DJ, like both what you contributed, what they contributed, like then over time, if you don't learn the lesson, the same things kind of can happen. So that's what I would say to anybody who's going through it, man. Know that it gets better. It'll take time, but you'll be able to look back on it further down the line and understand that that relationship had a place in your life
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
get you where you are now, if that
totally.
makes sense.
Yeah, and I would apply that to all of my exes, because like seriously, if I didn't date them at the time I was dating them, or we didn't have the split at like the time we did, I wouldn't have met, the people I did and then run into, the person I love. Like it's all set up. And I truly believe like we have choices and paths that we take in this life, but there's some things in life that are just like checkpoints. Like doesn't matter what choice you make, you're going through that. And if you're feeling that kind of pain right now, like Mike was saying, like it definitely gets better. And it gets better. learning from it not only saves you from dwelling on it, because by learning from it, you can move on faster. Um, but learning from it also stops you from feeling that deep of a stab if it does happen in the future. It protects you. You don't protect yourself and shield yourself away from loving someone 100%. Or easier said than done. You try not to, but at the end of the day, like you're tougher, and your heart could be just as big, but you're a little wiser.
Visual for Remedy was really cool too. It was like that old-timey cartoon. How did you guys come up with that to do as a video? Because as this is hitting people's ears, it'll be a few weeks after it was released, but we're talking about it literally like 3 days after the video dropped, and that was a cool visual to go along with the song.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, that was all DJ's idea. Yeah.
Stop. I can't handle this.
Like, stop now, but maybe a little bit.
Well, I was looking at um old cartoons like randomly, like
Yeah.
Sam, my wife and I were like watching like Ichabod Crane. Remember those old Disney movies? And then I was going over and watching like old Mickey Mouse, and I was like, I haven't watched like a Betty Boop, and I was like playing music, and I was like, I wonder if first of all, I wonder if I cut this video and send it to Dan, will he approve? This is gonna be a waste of my time. All right. And then the second thing was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it because it's really like the tempo of that cartoon just lined up like ever so close. I was like, oh, let me move some things around and like really drive like this really like the darkness of the song with it. Like in that song, like they're scared out of their minds, right? Like in the cartoon, I mean, they're scared out of their minds. They're running from, witches, ghosts, goblins, all that stuff. And the whole thing is them just running in fear. And I thought that, like, not to get any complex, like very complex in that music video, but I thought like they need to catch a break. Like, why can't they catch a break? Like that's where it was applied to. It just seemed like no matter where they turned, no matter where they went, no matter like I think one of the shots is like the witch flying through the tunnel, like they were in the corner, like no way they couldn't get away from the terror in their life, but they kept running through it, um and I liked it. I thought it was I edited that video, I think right after we got the first line before this long before Lead was released. I edited that summer was the first edit. And then I was like sitting on it like a goose on her eggs, like, should I show down? I'll like tweak it and move it and
My
make sure
God.
it was like pristine, like because like
Like you showed me this like 2 months ago for the first
see, it's been a year.
time.
You did. Seriously. Yeah, because like, we hold each other to a high standard, I guess, a higher standard with that. But I just really like Betty Boop, honestly.
Really long bit of
Where I'm at with that.
I thought it
And
was cool, man. I liked and missed those old cartoons. That used to be like Looney Tunes was a staple for us,
yeah,
man. I remember one year my grandma got us like a Looney Tunes VHS with like a bunch of old cartoons and stuff. But that used
that's
to be the
awesome.
jam Saturday mornings, man. It was like
Yeah,
Saturday morning cartoons,
Yes.
and then like the Saturday night Nickelodeon block where it was like all that Keenan
all
and
right.
Kel. Are you afraid?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
My sister loved
Close.
Rugrats. Then you had
Yeah.
like, Real Monsters, Doug. Like it, the '90s were I miss it.
Real
Real
monsters.
monsters freaked me out.
I
That one freaked me
love
out too
real
much. I couldn't do
monsters.
that. Yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna say the hand knives like
oh
that.
my
That
gosh.
was too much for me as a kid. I was
Beat
like, "Ah,
and
I don't
Screech.
mess with this."
Oh, screw
Also,
you.
Ren and Stimpy, I never got behind it. Never could get behind it. I don't know.
My older cousins used to watch that, and it was kind of like my mom was always like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
Because
yeah. Or
Ren and Stimpy are that's a real cartoon, man. I like
yeah,
Ren.
that one's even. I mean, even like
Cat
I
Dog.
got into Rocco's Modern Life like a lot later. I was able to appreciate it. As a kid, I'm like, what the hell am I looking at?
No, you missed out, bro. Like Rocco's Martin was I feel like that was always playing in the background when I had my action figures or like was
Yeah.
something completely not watching the TV as you can
Yeah.
tell.
I was a SpongeBob boy.
uh
Yeah. Yeah,
man.
you know
Uh,
what's better than 67? 25.
I,
Sorry.
I didn't get that
it's
connection.
like
Yeah, exactly, boomer.
90, 99 was it? SpongeBob, I think. Was it 98, 99 when SpongeBob came out?
Yeah, yeah, which is
Something like that,
baffling.
yeah.
That's like blows your mind when you think about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, 99 feels like I know, right? That's crazy. Like somebody who was born in the year 2000 is 25 years old. That just makes me
Yeah.
that like gives me the chills. It makes me feel so old. But yeah, the
Yeah.
90s were dope, man. And I think some of that element, bringing it back to y'all's music before we bring it home. And thanks again, you guys, so much for carving out time for me, man. Like I think that's what's cool about y'all sound. And we talked about it in the first conversation, like the influence of the 90s. Um, but also I think what's cool with you guys is like whether somebody's into like punk or hardcore or emo, alternative, like you guys kind of meld all those influences together so well. And so I guess just as kind of a tease or like a sneak peek, if you will, Dan, you mentioned you guys there's 5 songs you have like right now, at least the bones of, or like demo versions of that are kind of the next phase in Numbflower.
Yeah, so I mean we have 5 songs. We demoed them out and we're in the process of recording them for real. We're I don't know if you call it maybe I'll give us a good 60% of the way done. We got the bones recorded. We got to do all the fun stuff now.
Yeah, we're putting all the sprinkles on top. Yeah.
Yeah, so we got like we got 5 songs we're recording now, and then we have even more than that we're demoing beyond that. So we got a bunch of new music coming. Hopefully soon enough, as soon as we can you know get ourselves in back in the studio again and find time.
Which we just spoke to Nick about last week?
Yeah,
Last week?
yeah.
Yeah.
Nick, if you're listening to us and when this comes out in a few weeks and we still haven't gone back to you, then yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say then. That's on us. I'm sorry.
Oh, we'll be back.
Yeah,
Well,
no, we're doing good.
too, like the songs that you've put out so far, like we touched on it a little bit, but just from keeping up with y'all's content, man, like you've done a lot of live shows, a lot of really cool live shows in like the East Coast area. Like how fun is it, especially with lyrically, like we talked about some of the heavy subject matter of these songs, like just the catharsis that music is for, you know, guys like us who really love it and you guys being musicians, like how cool is it to be able to, like you said, after, all of these kind of coming out of the ashes of your previous band and like COVID, like to be able to play them live, like how cool has that experience been over the past year? Because you guys have gotten a chance to do a lot of really cool live shows.
It's I the biggest thing for me for live shows is watching people get into the music. Which has been amazing. Like any show, any of the shows that we've played, I would say this year, right? So far, have been fire. And if there is half of the people in attendance, there's no short on energy. Like that's just what it is. Also making connections with a lot of the talent that's out there, like big shout out to Long Island scene, dude. Like Nobody's
Yeah.
playing around anymore. Like we're having fun and we're there for that reason. And it's great to see like it's great to see like Long Island really like push their metal and like push their punk and push like just support and like come together all the time for these big bands, and for the smaller bands. Like I think that's the biggest thing that's been really like refreshing for me, like playing a lot this year, is just getting to meet like really good people and like really talented people. Um, and just like diehard music fans, like like
Yeah.
like watching people like bob in the crowd and like mosh or like flail or whatever. Like, yeah, man, feel the music. We want you to feel that music, even if you don't hear the the lyrics to the PA. You feel it in your chest. Like that's what we want. Um,
Yeah.
so hell yeah, it's been great. It's been
Yeah.
an
What he
excellent.
said.
Is there anything that you guys have been geeking out on, whether they're bands that people know or bands that maybe you want to give some shine to, give some pub to, stuff that that's been inspiring you guys like within the last year?
Uh,
That's a tough one. I don't know. I
on
mean,
a
we already gave our shout out to Peak Cinema, our homies here.
hell yeah, hell
They
yeah.
got that again. Um,
Oh my
no,
God.
I mean there are so many Long Island bands. It's like it's hard to name them because I'm
Yeah.
afraid like naming more
We're gonna
like
let somebody
we're gonna
down.
forget somebody.
So we'll
Uh,
shout out the whole Long Island scene. We'll shout out the whole Long
Yeah,
Island.
oh
what's
hell yeah.
that?
There's this band that I don't know if many people have heard of them. They're called Deftones or like the Deftones, but their new record is pretty sick and
Yo,
and
it
Private
all
Minds,
and
so
all
good,
this
dude.
uh,
go.
uh Infinite Source like that's kind of been on repeat for me. And I know they don't need my help and they're blowing up, but I like, dude, I got to give love to Deftones, man.
Oh,
Like I but that song in particular off that record, I could like it puts me in a good mood. It's like a I feel like I have a Rolodex of my life playing
yeah,
and when I listen to Infinite Source. So shout out to
yeah.
Def.
Dude.
Shout out to Deftones.
Have you heard the new Thrice record?
Oh, no, actually, I haven't heard New
I
Thrice
haven't
yet.
heard the new Thrice yet. I knew it was coming out, but how long's it been out,
Yeah.
dude?
Yeah.
It's just a couple weeks now. Not long was it Horizons West, right?
What kind of fan?
Um,
Oh my
I'm
God.
looking at October 3rd, yeah. So basically it just came out last month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check.
No, that's a solid listen.
Wait,
But
1 second. Back to Private Minds on Deftones. CXZ has been on repeat for me.
ah,
I
that song is so
love that song. Like, I love the record. Like, way to pull from Diamondized, self-titled, a little on Around the Fur, and like Kyoi no Yokon. Like, they just took all the goodies and just shoved it into one record and was like, here, enjoy. This will
good.
sustain me for another 5, 6 years, but
Yeah,
not a knock on them. Like quality over quantity, 100%.
a
Uh,
hundred percent.
100%.
I'm like, I
I'm,
feel like
I'm
I
sad.
mean, DJ,
Just,
I've been all over. I feel like I've been all over the listening spectrum lately, but like,
yeah.
I'm just getting into some weird stuff. I feel like some really good stuff too. I'll say, like, I've been obsessed with this band from South Africa.
Yeah.
Randomly, I found them on Instagram, Freddie L. They're phenomenal.
Yeah.
Shout out them. Kind of like, I don't know, classic like Kings of Leon vibe,
Yeah.
mixed in with modern soul.
Mhm.
Beautiful. But then I definitely got really, I don't know, things started getting really weird the last couple months, and I've gotten really into like David Byrne,
Mm.
and then Victor Jones, who is a maniac, but just writes the most ridiculous and incredible music, like just out there stuff. It's like I don't know, it's funny because like I feel like the more like it's controlled chaos, like in the songs that they write, like these, like I guess it could be looked at like it's, I guess, avant-garde-ish stuff, but it's controlled chaos the way that they do it, and I don't know. It just it while everything else around me is just like kind of like feels like it's falling from the seams. It almost is calming. You know, it's just like it kind of like hits this the synth line, you know, reaches equilibrium there.
I mean, I that kind of makes sense because like if the music is calm and everything around you is crazy, right? Then
Yeah.
you have something to compare, right? Like this is calm, this is crazy. But when the music is crazy and everything's crazy around you, it's just a flat line, baby. Like, you
Exactly.
know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
it's all right, everything's crazy.
Yeah.
Bye, you know? Yeah, no, that's awesome,
Yeah.
man.
Kind of like
Oh,
in like horror movies when when there's like a lighthearted song playing when something gnarly is happening, like that's almost what makes it more unsettling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to step on your thought that you just had, DJ.
no, 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 it's
Yeah,
great.
I think, yeah. No, exactly
Uh,
that.
I
Yeah.
wanted to talk about two more bands that I think that were like really big. I've been listening to like pretty much on repeat for the last year. And it's Fountains DC. If you've ever listened to them, they're so good.
Yeah.
Turnstile, especially. I
They
feel
are.
like those two are like not up and coming rising because they've been rising for a little while now,
I'm
but
saying, I think Fontaines may take some offense to that.
yeah, like well, I
Only like 3 million monthly listeners or something.
they're in, no, I'm saying like they've been on a rise. Like they're
Yeah.
not just starting and they just keep growing and getting bigger and bigger. Their sound is evolving, but they like never really true. That's two bands that have never really truly lost their essence, I feel like. Um,
Yeah.
they've shifted gears, but I mean, I'm liking it. I'm liking where they're going. And I feel like it's leaked a lot into like our the newer stuff that we're just recording now.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the way like I feel like it's so impressive, like how Turnstile like kept that like hardcore like vibe
Mhm.
while, you know, basically turning into writing like pop songs. But it's
Yeah.
just like I still feel fucking hardcore
Yeah.
listening.
Yeah, dude, because like, that's all we want. That's all every metal kid wants, right?
Yeah.
Uh, what about you, Mike? Any other new bands you're thinking about?
Oh man, well, I mean, just there's again like there's and I don't even mean this as like a shameless plug or anything like but I get a chance to talk to so many awesome bands on this show, so I'm like on one end I'm like I don't want to not name somebody kind of like you guys were saying with the Long Island music scene
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and leave somebody out. Although I will say because I believe they'll be in the wheelhouse of both your guys' taste and of fans of NUMBFLOWER, and they're the most recent episode of the podcast going into recording this episode. But Talking Point from Colorado, I really think you guys would dig, and I really think that your fans would dig. They just came out with their record, "The Beautiful Things the Cold Brings," and the record is basically like the tie-in theme for the whole record is an exploration of grief and like the different
Oh,
emotions that come with that. So it's a really awesome listen. And
yeah.
and also for any bands that might be listening to this, don't be afraid to do promoted posts because that's how I found them. Like I'm a music
Yeah.
nerd and I was scrolling through on
Nice.
Instagram and I saw a sponsored post from those guys and it was the riff from their song Time and
Yeah.
it's like this beautiful reverb and I was like Dan's got for the people listening to the audio of this like he's got a balance and composure flag behind him right now
Yeah.
and
I do.
he
Yeah.
knows the song Reflection like sometimes I just rewind like the first 30 seconds of that song like before I listen to it
Oh,
all the way through because it's just if that riff doesn't make you feel good and like then the drums start to kick in and like when the whole song kicks in it's like again like one of those songs that takes you in like a Rolodex of life but
yeah.
yeah not to be dismissive of anybody else that's been on my podcast but And also, I would say Slingshot is another band that I think would be in the wheelhouse of you guys and fans of the show. They just
They
came out.
sound familiar.
Yeah,
Slingshot.
they're in California. Awesome band. They just came out with a live record. The direction that they've headed over the last couple of years with like the lineup change they have has been much more in like kind of like a punk hardcore vein, and just they're doing some gnarly stuff too. So again, any other bands that listen to my show, I'm not leaving you off. I'm bringing up those two bands in particular just because I feel like they're in the wheelhouse of NUMBFLOWER and the NUMBFLOWER fan.
Okay.
And I think you guys would dig them, but yeah, definitely check them out.
I'm like looking up our
I'm
like band
sorry,
right now.
Slingshot. Yeah. Dude, that's sick. That's sick. I'll definitely check them out. I'm sorry, I'm looking down because I'm like writing this down on my phone. Like, okay, noted.
I can't. Yeah, man. But thanks so much for having us on here, Mike. Like it's like as per usual, we always come on here, we're like fully relaxed and able to talk about everything from the darkest stuff to, you know, the lightest stuff. So like really appreciate you giving us this forum to speak on and for just like
Yeah,
hanging out. I mean, I'm
yeah.
like really
Thanks for
blown
hanging.
now.
Yeah, you
Yep.
guys are welcome back anytime, man. It's like it's almost talking to guys like you. It's like I've heard somebody say it this way some one time. It's like meeting new old friends. You know what I mean? Like where you connect with people that you didn't meet previously, but it feels like you've known them since you were like 10 years old, and that's how it feels genuinely talking to you guys. So um, just to put a button on this bad boy, and thanks again for your time. I know we're a little bit over, but just um, just as dudes, kind of like everything we've talked about and with the music stuff that we all go through, whether it's heartbreak or whether it's death, health, all those things, like everybody goes through stuff, without getting into specifics, but at the same time, just knowing that there's people out there who sometimes feel alone. Like, is there any advice that you guys would give in terms of what's helped you kind of get to a better headspace through things that you've gone through in your life where there were curveballs or there was darkness? Because I think especially like right now in the world there's a lot of crazy stuff going on, and I think for men, sadly, sometimes there is still that stigma of whether it's going to therapy or being able to talk about your feelings,
Open.
uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, just kind of an open floor. And again, we don't got to, dig into the weeds. I'm not trying to go Barbara Walters on y'all, but just as dudes and as men, like, and it doesn't have to be specific to men out there who might be struggling with whatever it is right now, but anything that you want to pass along as far as things that have helped you guys get through the tough times.
Yes. I think what got biggest thing that gets me through, and every tough time is different, right? Like it all varies, but I would say the best thing you could do for yourself is to find something that feeds your soul. Find something that you could do without the input of anyone else. Um, you could do that's creative and creates a space for you where you lose time. Like find something where you lose time, and at the end of it, that sense of accomplishment is there for you because I I guarantee a couple of those, you start to get out of that space of where you are. And things start to like if you're feeling that loneliness and you're feeling that isolation, um, find something that feeds your soul, that involves other people. I know that's probably the last thing sometimes what you want to do, and I know during heartbreaks and like deep pains, like I'm usually a social person, but I was lock and key. I was a hermit. I think only a few people saw me, him included, but that's good. find those few because it is quality over quantity. And sometimes you don't need to be at a big party. Sometimes you can feel just as alone in a big party. Sometimes all you need is one person.
Yeah. No, I mean I 100% agree. I mean I think it's fine. Two of my favorite quotes, I guess, which are not the most, I guess, I don't know. I mean, I guess uplifting enough, the first one, but it's just that it always stuck with me from the show BoJack Horseman,
Mm.
about like how do you feel better? Um, it's like, you just gotta do it every day. It gets easier every day. While it may not be better, it does get easier. Um, just gotta keep moving forward. And like DJ said, sticking close to, the ones that really mean something to you. And for me especially too, I mean, a song lyric that's just always stuck with me was patent pending. Shout out Long Island again. But they had this like speech that they add into one of like the bridges in one of their songs, and then they eventually put it into an actual a different song. They wrote it in. But just the lines, like find something that you love and spread it like wildfire. Um, and it's just it's something that I think we, at least I try and do. And I think DJ does too with NUMBFLOWER and everything, we do creatively. It's just latching on to that, that you love and get it out there.
And one last thing before we cut this. Put the stigma of men asking for help to the side. All right? If you need help, find help. There's nothing wrong. I've found help. There's nothing wrong with finding help. Like we all could
Yeah, I
benefit,
get therapy every week.
you know. It's
Lord knows I
it's
could probably use more.
I I would want for anyone who is struggling with any of that out there, I would want you to stick around to see just how beautiful life is. Find help. You know, it's out there. Don't feel like you can't because you're a man. Don't feel like you can't because people depend on you. Don't feel like you can't because you're, the center of another person's universe. Don't. Because you need, like I said, you have to love yourself. And sometimes loving yourself is acknowledging that, you know, you could you could use a boost. You could use some help and use someone to talk to and someone to help put things in perspective for you. And sometimes it's great to hear someone tell you in other words, you're not crazy. You know, it's okay to feel how you feel.
It's well said from both of you guys, man. Again, I love you dudes. I appreciate you and I just wanted to get y'all's thoughts on that before we wrapped it up because I think I think it's important, and sadly when you like I was just seeing the numbers the other day about male suicide. It's like 600,000 a year, which is like what, like 50,000 a month. I mean, that's insane, and even though life can be tough and really dark and confusing at times, there's like you said, DJ, there's so much beauty in the world too, and there's so many beautiful people that and people that love you and care about you and do believe in you and want you around, so I think that's really well said from both you guys, man. Therapy has helped me a lot and some of the challenges and the ups and downs of the past few years. It's been huge, for me to kind of get out of my own head, man, and get a
Yeah,
perspective from a professional that it can come from an end that you're not seeing it from. So, and
yeah.
even talking like this too to your friends, for people who can't afford therapy, we
That's my
all
therapy.
those ride or dies, you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
having a creative outlet or just having people close to you that you really trust, because I feel like at the end of the day, I would hope anyway. I mean, I can't speak for anybody else, but I know I've got like on two hands I can count my ride or dies. That would take a bullet for me.
Yeah.
I'd take a bullet for them. I trust them with my life and
Yeah.
vice versa. So if you can't afford therapy, just find one of your homies that you're close to and that you trust, man, because there's people that love you and still want you here. So well, I really appreciate you guys, man. I
Yeah.
want everybody to go stream Numbflower, run up the numbers, go watch the music video for Remedy, and I'll put up the links in the podcast description, fellas. But let them know where they can find you.
Dan.
We are on we're everywhere. Spotify, Apple Music, I think Deezer is a thing. Tidal if it still exists. We're on TikTok, Instagram. I mean we're there. The frequency of our posting, varies. But
But
yeah,
I'm always
we're
watching.
find music and most social media platforms. We also have our own website, numflower.com, where you can find merchandise. We've got two different shirts out in two colors each.
Yep.
So,
Dream shirts, which I think are almost out. Well, we could order more back. Yeah,
and the website, they're always free.
they're
We
always
always got more. They're not free.
they're always
Free.
free.
They're always
What?
free. Always free shipping. We always got more.
Oh man, that's the best. Thanks, guys.
Um,
Really, and we honestly, we just want to give a big shout out to our fans. Like, we know people are listening. Oh, Canada, hell yeah! All right. But we really appreciate you guys supporting us, listening, and like following us on the journey. If you are interested in anything new, um, stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Alrighty, dighty, there you have it. That was my conversation with DJ and Dan of Numbflower. Make sure you go follow these guys on Instagram at Numbflower Band. Their website is numbflower.com. The links to all of their stuff will be in the podcast description for this episode. So you'll know what to do. Scroll down to the bottom of that podcast description, hit those links, and go follow and support my buds in Numbflower. Once again, if you love emo, if you love alternative, if you love grunge, you love early 2000s music and rock and roll, you will love what these guys are doing. I really enjoy their sound from the moment I heard Lead with Prairie Fire all the way up to the latest one, Remedy. Man, I've really dug every single release, and it was really great to get these guys back on here. A little more than a year later after we first talked, and we had such a great conversation the first time around. So when I saw that Remedy had come out, and I had been following these guys obviously from a distance here in Nashville and keeping up with their journey, seeing all the live shows, seeing the new singles, um, I remember before it had even come out, DJ and Dan both talking about how much they love Dreams, and that's not to be dismissive, obviously, of their other singles, but I think it was DJ who had said like that might be like my favorite song I ever wrote with Star Funeral. So it was really cool over the last year as they've put these out to hear the different vibes, to hear the different emotions. It was cool to take a deep dive into Remedy on this one, the latest single, and again kind of talk about that old timey cartoony visual that they came up with for it. And yeah, I love talking with these guys, and especially the mental health component of this. I think it was Robin Williams who said, be kind to everyone you meet. They're dealing with a battle that you know nothing about. And I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but when you hear about like we touched on towards the end of the episode about male suicide globally and just how many men take themselves out, how many men um, don't speak on what's going on inside of them because they feel like it makes them a wuss or that it makes them weaker. At the end of the day, I've said it a million times on the show, but we're not robots, regardless of gender or, any of that. Like none of us are robots, man. We're human and we make mistakes. That's what makes us human. We get knocked down, we get back up. Life is full of ups and downs. There's going to be ebbs and flows. There's going to be times where there's rough waters. There's going to be times when it's smooth sailing. And I think through it all, what I've learned in my life, through the ups and downs that I've been through, and the times that I've been my own worst enemy, and a lot of times that has been the case. And I think part of healing is learning how you contribute to your own suffering, right? And getting out of your own way. I digress, but the more you can kind of stay level-headed through it all, and it's tough because when you get hurt, whether it's death, breakups, relationships, friendships where there's difficulties at your job. I mean, losing pets. There's going to be things, your friends. There's going to be things that happen in your life where it's just inevitable. Death, taxes. You know, um, Heartbreak. Difficulties in career, financially. Like all of these things are things that most of us go through at some point or another. And again, what I've learned is that the more you can kind of stay present, and it's hard to do, especially if you're somebody who deals with anxiety or depression or OCD tendencies. It's hard. It's hard to stay present. It's hard to be where your feet are. But that's really where you just gotta, take some deep breaths, remember how loved you are, and remember how many people care about you, and not just how the people in your circle feel about you, but just how beautiful life is, how much of a miracle it is that we're even alive, and I have to remind myself of that, just fact that I'm here, that I'm living, that I'm breathing, that I'm talking to all of you right now. It's a miracle, and the more you can hang on to the beauty in this world and the light that you can provide with the gifts that have been bestowed upon you by the universe, God, divine source, whatever you want to call it. I myself believe in a higher power, and I want to be clear that I'm not being prescriptive that you should. But I'm just saying we all have qualities that make us unique, and we don't have to put on, you know, uh, some dog and pony show for everybody that we meet. Existing is enough, and as long as you treat yourself well and you treat others well, that makes all the difference, man. So I'm not a doctor. This podcast is obviously for entertainment purposes, but mental health obviously is very tied into the theme of the show. March 4th, persevere, move forward. And, for what it's worth, coming from this goofball, if there's any advice I could give you, it succinctly in my stream of consciousness there, it would be that. Try as best as you can to remain in the present moment and understand that this too shall pass. Good times come and go, bad times come and go, people come and go, and that's just life. And the more you can learn to stay balanced and even keel through it all, not be afraid to ask for help, not feel less than or unworthy of love or good things because of your quirks, or your darker attributes, or things that you're hard on yourself about, whether it's anxiety, whether it's depression, whether it's your physical appearance. Like, you know, um, if there's things about yourself that you want to work on and change, absolutely do that. But don't think that because you're flawed, that makes you less than, because we're all flawed. And you're never too much for the right person and the right people. So love yourself, love others. Please don't be afraid to reach out for help. I'm going to put a link in the podcast description for this one as well, with mental health being such a big part of this show, but also with this conversation and the things that Dan and DJ and I talked about. I want to make sure that you guys have availability to resources in your area if you need it. And again, regardless of sexual identity out there, I really just please take care of yourselves and love yourself. And remember to be as good to yourself as you are to other people, and that it gets better. So, you know, know that you are loved, you are worthy, you are worth it, you are worthy of your dreams, you are deserving of good things. You just got to believe it and put in the work. And please don't be afraid to seek help, and to talk to somebody about what you're going through. And I hope that you have at least one person that you trust, that you feel like you can do that with. And if you'd rather do it with somebody professionally, again, there's going to be a link in the podcast description for this episode. So that is going to be a wrap on this week's show. We're inching closer and closer to episode 200, y'all. And that means a lot to me that there are those of you listening. I really appreciate it. I love doing this. I hope that, it's fun to listen to, but I also hope that it makes you feel less alone. And to know that we all go through things, man. It's not always a bed of roses and sunshine out there, man. But understand again that when you go through darkness, there's a way to transmute that negativity into positivity. And hopefully conversations like this not only put you on to awesome bands and great guys like DJ and Dan and NUMBFLOWER that maybe you weren't previously aware of, but that you do feel less alone and hopeful about today and tomorrow and life in general. So I love you all. Keep the faith and be kind to one another. Be kind to yourselves. Once again, please go follow my buds and NUMBFLOWER on Instagram at NUMBFLOWER Band. The website is numbflower.com. If you did enjoy what you heard on this show, please like, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend, leave a rating and a review on whatever streaming service this is hitting your eardrums with, because that goes a long way in helping this show rank higher in the algorithms, the mysterious algorithms that run all of our lives. And it helps get this conversation out to more people. And that's what I want, man. I want more people to know they're not alone. And I want more people to know about my friends in NUMBFLOWER. Go run up the numbers on all of their songs. Start with Lead. Work yourself up to Remedy. You won't be disappointed. And yeah, I hope that all of you have a wonderful rest of the week. Again, I love you all. And remember, you're loved, you're worthy, and you are worth it. Courtesy of NUMBFLOWER, here is their latest single, Remedy. Peace.